Amy looked around the room. The very, very white room. Her heart sank. Last she remembered, she was covered in blood and lost in sacred oaks. But the memory was vague, distant, like a dream. Or maybe that was reality. And this white room was the dream. Rather, nightmare. She couldn't tell what was real and what wasn't anymore. A few feet ahead of her, a patch of the whiteness began to blur. Grainy nothingness morphed into a humanoid figure. Tobias. He just appeared. Out of nowhere, as if summoned. But summoned by who or what?
What is this place?
She almost didn't want to know the answer. An image of her lying in a hospital bed, unconscious, doped up on meds. She was back at Eden Gate Sanitarium, and the butchered remains of the deer, along with this room of white, was just a product of her hallucinations. Compliments of her seriously drugged-up mind.
The stag attempted to infuse his mate to you. Because the fusing was interrupted, you share a consciousness with her. But the vixen's presence is too strong. She has imprisoned your consciousness within these walls. Your body is under the control of the vixen's conscious state.
Absently, Amy palmed her chest where the beast had burned her with the strange gem. But she felt nothing beneath her wispy fingers and nearly transparent torso.
I want out!
I will show you the way.
Oh, you're gonna help me? That's very comforting, because up till now you've been stellar in the I will protect you regard.
The boy, Amy knew to be her son, grimaced. He remained silent.
You could have stopped him, but you didn't.
You will have to trust in me.
How do you expect me to trust you if you won't confide in me?
I want only your obedience. I care nothing for your trust.
Well, where I come from, trust and obedience go hand in hand.
I can show you the way out, where you can stay here until the vixen's death, which will be in what you would consider a distant future.
As an 18-year-old girl, being held in the mental ward was by far the worst experience of Amy's short life. Even worse than the day Vicky died. Most people live their lives never seeing a person die, much less a child of such a young age. Vicky was her friend. Her only friend. But losing Vicky, watching her die, seemed like cotton candy compared to Eden Sanitarium's house of mirrors. She had to get out of here, get her own self back. Rip it from this bitch's grasp. Amy had to trust Tobias. The lying, cryptic jerk. And why not? She had nothing to lose. The only fate worse than crazy was death. And right now, even death didn't seem so bad. But would her death mean the death of her unborn son, too?
My fetus has already been compromised. Without the gem in his blood, I cannot continue to full term.
Amy palmed her stomach.
Compromised?
Separation from the vixen's bloodline will mean my certain death.
She looked at the floor, the ceiling, the walls, white.
I have to live here.
She panned the room again.
forever?
After the vixen gives birth, the stag must be eliminated.
You mean after you're born safely? But as what?
Not human.
Tobias was now able to admit that he wasn't human. Oddly, this truth gave her some comfort. But how could her child not be human?
But I'm human, and you're a part of me.
Not entirely human.
Enough with the cryptic bullshit.
The twins are not destined to destroy the beast. I am. Not as human, but as the Dark Trinity. Part God. Part beast. And part
Human.
Tobias lowered his head in a slow gesture of acknowledgement.
But if I am not allowed to continue in her womb,
My womb.
He drove his car around to the away side of the stadium. Lance kept his .22 pistol into the driver's seat. Loaded. Always ready. His hand shoved under the seat, feeling for his gun. Shoved the pistol into the waistband at his back and pulled his shirt over it. A Honda Shadow was parked near the chain-link fence in the back of the lot. Lance didn't think Kavanaugh owned a motorcycle. Assistant Principal Ronnie Kavanaugh, a member of the Buckeye Reserve Police Force, would oftentimes recon the schoolyard perimeters as if he was Homeland Security. Students called him Rent-A-Cop behind his back. He'd even carry a two-way radio and baton. He surely would have carried a gun if it wasn't against the rules. Underneath the bleachers, he checked his phone for any new messages. He whirled and saw a scrawny figure break from the shadows.
Scott? Baker? That you?
The guy looked rough. Clothes covered in blood. Deep purple bruise on his cheek. Bloody, swollen lips and face. Nasty gash across the right eyebrow.
Not sure what happened, dude, but if you don't beat it, I'll finish whatever someone else obviously started. I'll beat you unconscious. And your big bro ain't here to bail you out this time.
A supernatural euphoria hummed through Scooter. He didn't hesitate to snort the cocaine Zach had offered on his fingernail. He needed all the help he could get. And help he got. Scooter felt strong. He felt confident. Why in the hell had he ever been afraid of this guy? Lance was a pussy.
Chelsea isn't coming. Tell him what you did to her.
Scooter couldn't see him, but Satan seemed to be speaking from the top side of the bleachers.
Tell him how you raped her, and how she screamed when you cut her face up then killed her. Rape?
Scooter sighed, looking up at Zach.
I didn't kill or rape.
A whirl of fists and arms and a flash of white teeth. Scooter went down hard, taking blow after blow. Knuckles hammered his face, scalp and cheeks. A knobby ring busted his nose, sending blood gushing over his already swollen and bloody lip. With folded arms, he tried to shield his face, but the storm of punches rained through.
Help me.
Unaware or uncaring of Zach's presence, Zach's laughter echoed from somewhere. Suddenly, he appeared behind Lance. He dropped a Funyun onto Lance's broad shoulders, but Lance didn't seem to notice.
Mages have to be granted permission to tap into the universe's energy.
He bawled like he was 5 years old and had gotten into a fire ant bed, screaming for his mama. Zach had once again led Scooter to the bear's den to get mauled for the second time this day. His broken and bruised body crumbled beneath this second wave of ass beating. Sucking sounds from his nostrils. White-hot siren intense ringing in his ears. Vision dark. Blurred and screened by tears. It all melted into one mind-thrashing instance of realization. He was never going to be the same Scott, Scooter, Baker he'd been before this day.
Most mages place their faith into higher beings, deities, gods and angels or demons.
Zach crumpled the empty Funyun bag.
Maybe you should ask a higher being for some assistance.
A steel-toed boot sank hard and deep into his side. Scooter winced, rolled halfway over, slow motion, eyes tight, lips curled in agony. Ribs broken, nose smashed, internal bleeding, another hard kick to his kidney. Scooter's consciousness skipped a beat. Delirium crawled closer. Lance pulled a .22.
Give me power!
From behind Lance, Zach peered over the asshole's shoulder.
Who you talking to, buddy? You, goddammit! Need a name. A name is very important in these matters. What's my name?
Still seemingly ignorant of Zach's presence, Lance pointed the gun at Scooter's chest.
You fucking psycho nutjob. You some kind of freak, man? You raped her? Well, fuck you, Baker.
Zach! Give me some power, Zach!
Sure thing, bud.
Lance whirled to face Zach.
Where the fuck you come from?
Zach's eyes glowed purple. He lifted a hand and waggled his fingers. A hello gesture. The gun fired. Lance dropped the gun as if it was hot to the touch. His jaw dropped, eyes wide. Almost seemed as if he was surprised by the firing of the bullet. As if he wasn't the one that pulled the trigger. Or at least not on purpose. The small bullet plunged through Zach's forehead, where it left a dark brown wormhole. Zach grinned. He popped a finger into his own forehead where the bullet had lodged itself. Satan licked the red-gray fluid from his fingertip. Scooter felt his body bloat. Muscles stretch. His blood ran feverishly hot. He was suddenly standing erect on his feet. A black, bony, gnarled claw ripped from his pointer finger. As if it were a loaded gun, Scooter pointed the claw. Lance's eyes went wide.
What are you two?
A snap echoed in Scooter's mind, and the euphoria of the cocaine returned. He was the supernatural, unstoppable hero again. With his forearm, he wiped blood from his nose and face. Zach gave Scooter a knowing look.
Don't disappoint me again.
Scooter concentrated, pooling the energy around Lance, coiling the fumes between his legs and around his torso. Scooter held his clawed hand out, palm up and thrust upward. Lance's body shot vertical, smashing repeatedly into the underside of the bleachers. A shower of blood sprayed Scooter and Zach. More clobbering against the metal. More blood. 6, 7, 8 times. They smashed into the bleachers before thudding into the ground. With a shoe to Lance's underside, Scooter turned Lance onto his back. His face was covered in blood. He knelt, eyeing Lance with a wonderful kind of confidence.
He's Satan, and I'm Satan's little helper. Open wide and say, ah.
Lance's lids flashed open. The whites of his eyes a stark contrast to the bloody mask covering the rest of his face. With his claw, Scooter punctured both Lance's eyes.
Very, very good. You're officially team captain.
Zach knelt beside Lance's writhing, seizing body.
Congrats, Lance Henderson. You made the cut.
He grabbed Lance's forehead. A burst of gold light shot up Zach's arm.
Welcome to Hell's Varsity team.